Welcome to UC. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so nice to see you all here. My name is Camille Mason. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Director of Religious Education here. It is my pleasure to welcome you to a church where religious education is one of our priorities. If you are new to this church or Unitarian Universalism, then I want to explain to you what religious education is. So it's the faith formation of our youngest congregants from birth to teenage years. During this service, you're going to get to hear about what the children do downstairs on Sunday, how we teach our youth to practice social justice, and all the cool stuff they get to do because this church supports their spiritual growth. This is a multi-generational service, which means our youth will stay upstairs today and participate in worship with us. So I would like to invite Hayden and Anna up, and we're going to have our chalice lighting. Here, Hayden, will you say the words?
In the light of truth and
In the warmth of love,
we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share.
I would now like to invite our RE chair, Wendy Sapp, up to talk about the RE committee.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Wendy Sapp, and before I start, how many of you have ever volunteered with anything with our kids in this congregation? I love it. I love it. The rest of you don't know what you're missing out on. The RE committee is a group of adults in the church who plan what goes on in RE. We plan what curriculums the kids will do on Sunday mornings. We plan special events for the kids, which you'll hear more about, social justice projects, and all of the fun and exciting things that go on for the kids. We always have a chair, and that's me at this point. We always have our DRE, Camille, as part of that committee, and we always have a member of the board who can then report back to the board about all the things that go on in RE. But everybody in the congregation is welcome, whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a volunteer, just somebody who wants to know what's going on down there. Everybody is welcome. We meet once a month for an hour on Zoom and plan these events. And then we require other volunteers to help us pull those events off. So there's opportunities for everybody to have a part in this if you're interested. And I really hope that you are, and that you'll come talk to me or Camille about some way, whether it's one time you want to go down and tell the kids about your special hobby that you really love, or your social justice thing that's close to your heart, or whether you want more of a long-term opportunity. But all of those are possibilities, and I hope to talk to lots of you after service.
Thank you so much, Wendy. And Wendy's kind of an unsung hero of RE, so if you wouldn't mind, will you please give Wendy Sapp a round of applause for all that she does for RE. Thank you. And if you will now rise in body or spirit to sing hymn number 325, Love Makes a Bridge. I would now like to invite one of our teens, Gray Henry, up to share our story for all ages. If you are young at heart or young, please come on up and we're going to enjoy a story together.
All right, hi everyone. Hello. So, the story for all ages is going to be RE gem mining. So, liberal religious education is like gem mining. In Unitarian Universalist religious education, we endeavor to teach our children discernment. The word discernment comes from the Latin word discerne, which means to separate, to distinguish, to sort out. In other words, we try to teach our children how to be gem miners. The process of gem mining is simple. You take some dirt, or in this case sand, place it into a strainer, run creek water through it, and sift until you find a gem. So, would any of you like to come up and search for gems? Yeah.
Have to like close my eyes or anything?
No, you're good.
He asked if he had to close his eyes or anything.
There you go. Well, sift through it. What do you find? Yeah, do you want to keep that? And pass it to someone else to sift through some more? Do you want to come up next? So take it and just sift through. You can use your hands as well. And what color stone did you find?
It's like a reddish orangish kind of color.
Awesome. And you can hold on to that if you'd like. Yeah. I think there's one there. Do you want to grab it? And what color do you have?
I do not. The greenish color, bluish greenish color.
Nice.
Can I keep it?
Yeah. Would anyone else like to come sift for a gem? All right. Liberal religious gem mining requires the ability to discern what is worth keeping and what should be sifted out and discarded. This can be difficult. Children have to sift through lots of information in life. They learn values from television, popular music, the internet, books, magazines, their friends, and many other sources. We can't even know all the messages that youth are exposed to on a regular basis. We cannot shelter children forever, but we can teach them the process of discernment and the art of gem mining. We can help to awaken the conscience so that they will be able to make responsible choices, to separate things of value from things that have no value. At some point, we must open the door and lead the children into the world free to make choices for themselves. This is a multi-generational service, so we will be singing the children back to their seats rather than downstairs for RE.
It is now the time in our service where we're going to have candle lighting. I would like to invite Gray and Nicholas Henry to come up. They're going to hold the candle lighters as people feel led to come up. Please light a candle to represent what's on your heart. Whatever you feel moved to do, we hold you in our beloved community. The only person who is educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change. This is from Carl Rogers. Our meditation today is going to be reading the RE Covenant. So this was created at the annual RE stakeholders meeting, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the service. But the idea was we asked all the people who attended to write on sticky notes what they wanted to see in RE, what they wanted our church to be for our youth, what we wanted our youth to learn and feel as they participated. And so this is what we came up with from those sticky notes. So if you will please read it with me. Religious education at UCC consists of youth, families, volunteers, and staff. Together we covenant to welcome all families, create a safe space for our youth that is kind and supportive, nourish spiritual life, and support spiritual truth. Value our youth as vital and unique members of our community. Celebrate their gifts and talents in our church, and meet the needs of our youth throughout our church programming. This covenant is so powerful and special to me, and I feel like it really gives us a vision and a point of truth for how we want to act and how we want to teach our youth. So it always just kind of makes me tear up a little to read it. I don't know why. But I think it's really special that we value our youth so much and want to celebrate them and see them as vital members of our community. So I would like to ask you guys, after reading this, were there any ideas or phrases that really stood out to you or felt important to you or touched you? Yeah.
Kind and supportive.
Kind and supportive. Yes. Valuing our youth. Yes.
Create a safe space.
Create a safe space in a world where sometimes it feels like there aren't a lot of safe spaces. Yes.
Meet the needs of our youth, specifically because sometimes we create programs to meet our needs when it's supposed to be for them.
Yes, absolutely. We want to do things that our kids are interested in, that meet their needs and their interests. Yes.
Vital and unique members of our community.
Yes, they are. They are vital and unique. And we want to celebrate them. And I hope you see this service as that. And we're going to get to see a lot of our youth, and they're going to get to share all the things that they've been doing. And we have some special music as well in store. So, anything else? All right, well, thank you for sharing. I'm glad to hear that there were some things that touched you and stood out to you as well. I would now like to welcome Sebastian Shireman to share an original song titled Thanksgiving. Wow, thank you so much for sharing, Sebastian. That was incredible. It is now time for our offering. I have a few friends who are going to help with our offering. So Milo and Thomas, if you'll head to the back, thank you. It is time for our offering, and if this is your first time here, please let the plates pass you by. But if you have joined us here at UUCC before and want to support all the programming and events, please be generous. So we're going to talk about what does it look like in RE downstairs on Sunday mornings. You can see this is our nursery, and then this is our saplings room. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 different classes that we're going to have. So in our nursery, it was just recently cleaned and organized by our nursery staff. And it's a very welcoming and joyful place for our littlest friends to play. And in our nursery, we have a class called Chalice Children. And it is a way for kids to explore the ideas of church through stories and play. And so they also get to participate in a chalice lighting, and they get to do it with their beloved Miss Wendy. So I am going to ask Miss Wendy and Mikey and Robert up to share how they call one another to Chalice Children.
All right, we start every Chalice Children, as Camille said, having to call them in because they've been playing in the nursery. And so this is the way we do it. Can you come up here with me? Welcome, Chalice Children. We're Unitarians. Jump into the circle. Jump, 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 jump. Welcome, Chalice Children. We're Universalists. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump. We're Unitarian, Universalist, Church of Chattanooga. Jump, jump, jump. Welcome, Mikey. We're so glad you're here. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump. Welcome, Robert. We're so glad you're here. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump. And then we go through all the kids until they all come join us. Thank you so much for coming.
Our second class is the sapling class, and it is for kids grades kindergarten through 4th. And every Sunday they get to read a book, explore an idea, do an activity to learn about social justice, faith, compassion, and so many other important themes. So I would like to ask a few saplings participants if you would like to come and join me up here. And maybe I could ask you a few questions about what happens in your saplings class. So if you participate in saplings, will you come on up? Any takers? Yeah, Anna, come on up. Liam, you want to come share? Here, Anna, you can come stand with me. All right, so I have some questions for you. All right, my first question is, what's your favorite part about church?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
Everything?
Everything? Can you be more specific? If you had to pick one thing, what's something you always enjoy thinking about or doing when you get here?
Everything?
All right, great answer. All right, so when you go downstairs to the sapling room, can you tell me some things that you do down there?
Crafts and the board games.
You do some board games and crafts?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing that you've learned down there?
What we did last time.
What did you do last time?
We did collages or
Okay, and what did you make a collage about?
animals.
Animals. And why did you make a collage about animals? What was it representing?
Because I love animals.
Because you love animals. Perfect. Yes. And in that lesson, we were kind of talking about how at UU, and when we think about the things that we love, and we think about, nature, things like that, our spirituality and the things that we love go into that. And so how can we make a collage of all the things that are part of our spirituality? All right, thank you, Anna, for sharing. So our third class is the Evergreen class, and it is for youth grades 5 to 8. and this class explores themes through a lot of discussion and collaboration. And they are nurtured in the art of discussion and sharing their opinion by our wonderful volunteers. So could I have a few Evergreen participants come up and join me? Come on up. All right, so what is your favorite part about church? Oh, will you say your name?
My name is Nicholas.
Okay, and
Thomas.
all right, perfect. And what's your favorite thing about church?
Probably just messing around with my friends.
Okay. So fellowship, being with friends.
Let me just think. I just like, just chilling around. I just like to chill. I'm just like the chill type of person.
Perfect. All right. Can you tell me something that in the Evergreen class that you guys have talked about or that has made you think?
Pretty much every single time that I've been in there, we've had to think, so I can't really pick one thing.
I do not know.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. Is there something that you do every time in the Evergreen class that you enjoy?
I like the discussion part of it.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little more? What do you like about the discussion?
It just brings a lot of opinions,
Huh.
and you can see which ones match, which ones don't match. It's interesting.
Thomas?
I just like when it's starting to end, because then we can just pretty much discuss, play around and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sharing. I really appreciate it. These classes wouldn't happen every week without the dedication and time of our volunteers. And to me, the miracle of religious education is the volunteers who come to do a job and are transformed by the subject and delighted with the children. It's the enthusiasm of the people working and learning together. It's knowing that children want to be here. It's knowing many people give so much of their time and energy to lift up our community. If you are a volunteer with RE, would you come on up to the stage? If you are here and you're a volunteer with RE, will you come on up to the stage? Yeah, come on up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on. Come on. Wendy and Jan and Judy, come on up. Sally, come on up. Look at all these volunteers we have. And this isn't all of them. I mean, we don't have enough room on stage for all the people who volunteer their time with RE. So I have a couple questions for you all as well. You didn't know that. So what I'd like to know is, why do you volunteer with RE? What about it makes you come back time after time? And I've got the mic, so.
I'm Camille, the other Camille. I grew up in a Unitarian church, and having a Unitarian church when we were looking to relocate was important to me that we would have one, because I value so much of the education that I received in the Unitarian church, the fellowship I received, the support I received, that I wanted to make sure my kids had that too. I also didn't want to come up here and talk, but I told my kids they had to come up here and talk. So now I'm following my own advice.
Well, thank you. We're so glad to hear from you. Would anybody else like to share why they volunteer?
Hi, my name is Dylan, and I've been teaching downstairs for the past several years. My son is 11 years old, soon to be 12, and this church has become a really important place for him. So it was my way to give back and to get to know all your kids through him. And Wendy over there was my teaching mentor, and she really taught me the value of exposing our young members here to different ideas and different stories, and different ways of thinking about spirituality and life and love. And it's been my honor to work with kids and to work with you and the rest of the RE volunteers downstairs.
This is Jan. She's new to us. I love Jan. I'm Judy, and many of you know my grandson Milo, who's did the offering, and my other little guy who's down in the nursery. And I feel it's real important for me to give back to RE because I want them to participate well in it as well, because I think Unitarian Universalism offers a really good counter to many of the things that they're exposed to in the world. And I just want them to grow and nourish here, and I feel that it's important for me to help that process.
Hello, I'm Sally, she, her. I'm also on the board. I get to be the RE liaison, super cool. What they said, it is really important that we get to do this with our kids, but also we have the coolest kids here, and I love getting to hang out with y'all for RE.
All right, you gotta hear from me again because I love the kids. I always say, I'm so sorry, Rev Mandy, but I learn more downstairs with the kids than I do upstairs, and it's a whole lot more fun. But I do want to share with you one thing that the kids have taught me. I've learned from the lessons that I've taught them. I've learned from lots of things they've said. But we shared our RE covenant a little bit earlier, but several years ago, the kids were making their own covenant in one of the classes, and I learned the most important thing to have in any covenant, in any relationship you're with, and I want to share that with you. Because we light chalices downstairs with the kids, just like we do upstairs, and one of the kids said, and we put it on our covenant, and we read it every Sunday, don't burn the church down. The most important thing, don't burn your life down.
Thank you so much. If we can please give our volunteers a big round of applause. If you will please rise and body your spirit to sing hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us. So now we get to talk about the events and service projects that happen throughout the year. So the RE committee likes to plan every year and kind of think through and think about what are we going to do every month, how are we going to serve our kids, how are we going to serve our families. And you can kind of see, whoops, there's a chair there. You can see some of our planning up here. So we have the RE special events calendar and then our RE community service calendar as well. And you can always find these in the newsletter if you would like to look at them in more detail, because I know it's a small screen. But we meet at our annual RE meeting, and we kind of talk about what are our kids interested in, what are our congregates interested in, how can we put those things together, right? Because when we have people who are passionate and who are able to share their passions and love for community service, like litter cleanup or other things like that, then, we get kids who are interested as well because they also love animals and they also want to help and make a difference. And so when we sit down together and we kind of figure those things out, right? So RE exists because of all the congregants who participate in and support religious education opportunities for our youth. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the events that we've had so far this year. So our calendar year kind of goes from July to June, so I'm going to talk from July to now. But this year we've had several parent night out events. We had one in August and November, which were really well attended by a variety of ages. So we had kids in the nursery, we had kids grades K through 4 hanging out, and we ate pizza and had a really fun time together. And then parents got a night out, so it was a win-win. And it's really nice to be able to engage in community and have fellowship with one another. Our next parent night out, parents, if you want to put this on the calendar, is in March. We are going to have a March Parents Night Out, so we're going to do it again. We also had a stargazing party in September, which I think I got to see many of you at. So you can kind of see, let's see, ooh, I have a laser. Ha ha ha. So this is from the stargazing party. We were at Harrison Bay State Park. People brought a lot of food. I don't know if you can, this is a tiny picture, but there was a lot of food. It was really tasty. And there was a big playground, and people brought glow sticks, and the kids got to play on the playground and have a really fun time. Yeah, is that you? Maybe you can see yourself. Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Did you remember that? Yeah, we had so much fun. I went stargazing with you. Yes, and we got to look through a big telescope. John Littlefield brought his telescope, and I got to see the rings of Saturn, as did so many other people, and it was just so cool to be out in nature, to get to experience and play together and eat lots of good food. So that was in September, and then we also had a really fun litter campaign where we picked up litter over Raynard Road, so just kind of in our neighborhood, and served our community. And we had a lot of kids come out and help us with this, and it was really fun and satisfying at the end of the day to be like, you know what? I loaded up 3 bags of garbage filled with litter, and my community is better, and it looks better because of it. And so we had a lot of fun. We also had food here. I don't know if you see a theme. And then you can see all these happy faces. This was at our pumpkin carving party in October, which it feels like it was just yesterday, but it's already almost December. How did that happen? So we got to carve pumpkins together or paint pumpkins, which was a lot of fun, and it was cool to see our youth be creative, and then they also got to play on the playground, and we had lots of yummy fall snacks, and so we had a great time. And so all of these events that you see, they are supported and happening by your pledges to our church. RE has a budget, and we're able to do these awesome events because of the generous pledges of our congregants. So if I can, we are going to do our closing song. If I can ask you to please rise in body or spirit to sing the hymn, Be the Change.
Be
So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the mountain and owl. And we have a lot of people in our congregation who are very passionate about both of these things. When we had our annual RE meeting, we talked about what are some things that are really special to us at UUCC, and then we kind of listed them down, and then we all got stickers, and we put stickers next to the top 3 things. And you won't believe it, but both the mountain and owl got some of the biggest star accumulations. And the reason they're so important, the mountain is a retreat center for UUs in North Carolina. It's a really beautiful campus. It has really nice cabins and a fantastic dining hall and lots of fun activities, and you're just in nature, and in just you get to just be in the beauty of, you experience the earth, It's just an incredible, incredible experience. So I didn't really understand when I first started working here, but I got to go and visit, and now I do. And then OWL, if you haven't heard of it, is Our Whole Lives. And it is a lifespan sex education program, and so it starts with classes for kids in kindergarten, and then it spans your whole life, so it has curriculums from kindergarten all the way to seniors. So it's a really important program. And kind of our goal for OWL is to send people to get the training for it this spring, and then we will hopefully have our first cohort in the fall of 2024, which is really exciting. So it means a lot that we have people who are interested in getting the training. And we're also going to be partnering with other liberal congregations who also want to get that training and have their kids be part of those cohorts. So it's really exciting, and we have a plan, and we're really hoping that it will come to fruition. So to go back to the mountain, we every year take kids to the mountain to the youth conferences. So it's called a youth con. And there are 3 youth cons. So there's an elementary, an intermediate, and a high school youth con. So if I could have some friends who have attended the mountain, come on up. All right, so if you'll please say your name and then say something that you enjoy about the mountain.
Hi, my name is Gray, and I started going to the mountain when I was 10. I had to get talked into it, and I try to go back as much as I possibly can. This year, I have gotten to be a PAL for youth cons, and what that means is PALs kind of run the cons. PALs are high school juniors, seniors, as well as freshmen and sophomore in college, who come to the mountain for a weekend and run the events that the youth do. We have social justice talks, we make collages, we go on hikes, we make music, and then we always go down to the field and we do tie-dye, kickball, and stuff like that. And it's a great experience. PALs also lead their own focus groups, which are small groups of youth from different congregations where they get to meet new people and hang out. And something that they do is make their own covenant. So we talk a lot about covenants. And this was the covenant that my elementary school family council made. Be kind to one another. Be inclusive. Don't fight. Be kind to all mountain staff. Help each other. Respect people's boundaries. And be mindful of helpings. Keep in mind, these are kids ages 7 through 10, 7 through 11. And they came up with every single point on that covenant. I was just there to write it down.
My name is Nicholas, and There are a lot of things that you do at the mountain. So I think that's probably something that I like about it. Just there's a lot of things to do. Also foosball, because the last time I was there, I think I had spent 5 hours playing foosball in one day.
You did not have 5 hours to play foosball.
He felt like he did. That's the important part.
I spent free time doing foosball. I spent the lock-in doing foosball. I spent the end of the social justice thing playing foosball because we wrapped up early. So that right there is probably about 4 hours.
Search for truth and justice, yes. Playing foosball with others, yes.
Moral of the story. So let me ask you one more question. Why do you recommend other youth in our congregation attend the mountain?
Like I said, I had to be talked into it. I was really hesitant to go, but one of the things that I found there, and it was true when I was 10, it's true now, is the mountain is a space where there really is no judgment. You can be completely and wholly yourself, and not only just like in saying that, but it's very true with the people who are there. That the mountain is probably the place where I feel most clearly seen and respected and just seen as myself, which is really great.
I don't really know what to say for going to the mountain, but once you go to the mountain, you need to be talked out of going to the mountain.
Thank you all so much for sharing. At the end of the service, I hope you walk away with a greater understanding of religious education at UUCC. RE exists because of all the people in this congregation that volunteer their time, gifts, and treasure. Before we close out, please give a round of applause to yourself and other members of our congregation who have ensured our youth are educated and celebrated. I would like to invite Kaden up to extinguish our chalice. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about social justice. I apologize, Sandy. Thank you for the reminder. Got ahead of myself. Yes. Here.
Testing. Testing. Hear it now? Okay. This is the last Sunday for the social justice moment that's focused on environment. So this is my last chance to really convince you that doing something for the environment is important. I probably don't have to convince you, but maybe what to do might be a concern. But I just want to emphasize the social justice piece of it. At the Council of the Parties of the Government for the United Nations in 2015 in Paris, there was the Paris Accord, which said that we should try to limit our global warming, which is happening. There's lots of denials, but I think we've all accepted that it really is happening. 1.5 degrees Celsius rise in the planet temperature would be enough to sort of contain the climate impacts, the negative climate impacts. However, and then there was let me get this right here. The UN Code Red for Humanity, its Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, found that we are not doing so well, that we are far greater climate rise in temperature than expected. So, and in addition that we're losing our species, especially insects and birds. So the biodiversity is diminishing as well. So we have about, they're saying maybe 4 years now. When they first came out with that, it was 7 years. Now it's 4 years. How are we doing? In this November 30th, next week, through December 12th, where they are having another council of the parties of the governments, 197 countries sending their representatives to take stock of what they pledged at the Paris Accords. Every country had proposed what they could do to cut carbon emissions and also help vulnerable people who are going to suffer the most from global impacts. That's sea rise, people who live on islands are losing their islands. Villages that live on sea coasts are losing their villages. The lack of biodiversity is hurting our food stocks, and drought and catastrophic storms, flooding. Here in Chattanooga, we are the sixth fastest rising in temperature in the southeast, this city, Chattanooga. So climate change is impacting us, mostly tree canopy and flooding issues. So those are concerns. And I just brought a couple of quotes here that I'd like to read, and it seemed important maybe because our own Tennessee representative for climate change wrote a book, Earth in the Balance, Ecology and the Human Spirit, in 1992. This is Al Gore. When he was senator, he wrote this. Nevertheless, there is no doubt that many believers and non-believers alike share a deep uneasiness about the future, sensing that our civilization may be running out of time. The religious ethic of stewardship is indeed harder to accept if one believes the world is in danger of being destroyed by either God or humankind. This point was made by the Catholic theologian Teilhard de Chardin when he said, "The face of mankind as well as of religion depends upon the emergence of a new faith in the future. Armed with such a faith, we might find it possible to re-sanctify the earth, identify it as God's creation, and accept our responsibility to protect and defend it. We might even begin to contemplate decisions based on long-term consideration, not short-term calculations. And if we could find a way to understand our own connection to the earth, all the earth, we might recognize the dangers of destroying so many living species and disrupting the climate balance." That comes from James Lovelock, who I talked to you about last Sunday, the originator of the Gaia hypothesis. So, skip that. Sorry, I'm taking up time, but this is my last chance. The COP28, this one's coming up starting November 30th, several days, is happening in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And those 197 countries are going to look at what they pledged at the Paris Accord and see how they're doing, and then either try to figure out how they're going to do it better, or they're going to, if they have accomplished their tasks that they wrote down at that time, those pledges, then they're going to add to it to see if they can continue to try and control the temperature to a certain extent, primarily reducing carbon emissions. Unfortunately, some of the big corporations are now trying to run the show because they're reticent, of course, to ruin their business, I guess, is what could happen if we had to reduce how can we do without fossil fuels? That's the question, and we need to really work on that. So in solidarity with that, here in Chattanooga, the Tennessee Interfaith Power and Light, of which we are a partner, this church, is holding a candlelight climate vigil on December 3rd at the Ruth Holmberg Glass Bridge. It's not glass anymore, but and by the Hunter Art Museum at 6:30, and we will pledge our support for the COP28 coming out with really good solutions, and we will pledge our support to do what we can here in Chattanooga. We've also, Tennessee Interfaith Power and Light has also been involved in Chattanooga's Climate Action Plan, which talks about equity for those who are most vulnerable and suffering from it. So we'll get those key negotiations, and hopefully our planet will keep a temperature that we can continue to survive in. And here we've had a Youth Sunday. I can't think of a more important thing to stress than a planet that's livable for our future. I think of Greta Thunberg is our youth representative who's really made that point very capably. She says, don't talk about it, do something, basically. One last closing quote here, if I can find it. It's hard to know what to tell you guys in a short time, because there's a lot of ways in which you can make a difference. Here it is. This is a quote from Ecological Change by David Orr, and he's an environmental educator and professor, but he's also a wonderful writer and a thinker. We need a perspective that joins the hard-won victories of civilization, such as human rights and democracy, with a large view of our place in the cosmos. When we get it right, that larger, ecologically informed enlightenment will upset uncomfortable philosophies that underlie the modern world in the same way that the Enlightenment of the 18th century upset medieval hierarchies of church and monarchy. The foundation for ecological enlightenment is the 3.8 billion years of evolution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Now, Caden, will you come up and extinguish our chalice? Mm-hmm. Yep, I've got a microphone for you. Oh, Anna, do you want to come help? I think it should be on.
Hello?
There it is. Here you
Hold on. We extinguish the flame, but keep the alive truth, the validity, and our commitment that we carry in our hearts and share it with all the world.
All right, that is the end of our service. It is now time for announcements. Do we have a board rep to talk about announcements, or? Yes? Okay.
Hi, I'm Judy, and I am on the board, so I'll start, and I'll facilitate as needed. I don't know if you saw this in the back yet, or if you've read it in the newsletter, but we're collecting toys for kids for the holidays in cooperation with a youth-oriented group called Be the Change. And Be the Change's mission is to they believe youth should be seen, heard, and loved, driven by the commitment to encourage youth towards positive mental health, to educate, equip, and empower the next generation to become advocates for their communities, etc. They are a group of young musicians, and so they do a lot of storytelling and music throughout the community, and they've hoping to raise about $25,000 worth of toys. So I committed us to a small group of toys. So, so we have the next 2 Sundays. So the list of what they are looking for particularly is on the box. It's also in the newsletter each week. So I encourage you to make a donation. Sally.
Hello, I am Sally again, she, her, board representative, but not the representative. Anyway, this Saturday is Maine by 24. It has an awesome parade, and we get to be in it. So I am inviting you to come walk with us in the parade. Don't have to do anything, just be there. We are meeting by Main Street. If you are interested, you can come talk to me. I will give you my number to give you the exact location, or you can just come to Main Street and look for the UU banner. We're gonna meet at 9 o'clock. If you get there by 10, it's fine. If you have your UU t-shirt, now's your chance to wear it. If you feel inclined to wear rainbows, that looks like UU too. If you want, maybe get a chalice tattoo before then. All we gotta do is be there and have fun in a parade. There's also gonna be dogs in costumes. You're gonna love it. This Saturday, Main Street, 9 a.m.-ish.
Hi, everybody. My name is Selena Duncan. It's been a long time since I've seen some of you. Hello. So I just want to make sure to remind you about our first and third Wednesday coffee hour. Just a little reminder. You can see it in the newsletter. It's usually on the calendar on the back of the bulletin or whatever we call that also. But so this coming Wednesday, we will not have a first and third Wednesday coffee hour because why? It's a fifth Wednesday. Okay, so just for everybody who usually attends, it's a fifth Wednesday. Don't be here. But the following Wednesday on December 6th will be one of our coffee hours. So it's at 10 o'clock right here in the fellowship area of the church. If you have time in the middle of the day, we have really great discussions. So the past couple of times, we've talked about the concept of just war and what that means. We've talked about peace, how to achieve it in our own lives, how to achieve it in our community, and so on. We recently talked about change and what that means for each of us on different levels. And we're looking at innovation for the next one as well. So December 6th, 10 o'clock, right here. See you there. And you can ask me about it if you need to. Oh, do you mind?
Hi, I'm Dylan, he, him. It's that time of year when we're thinking about collecting money for gifts for our amazing staff, of which Camille is one of them, and Farron, our wonderful administrator, and our beloved minister, Reverend Mandy. We asked whether we should try and keep this a secret, but we're not keeping it a secret. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. There's going to be red envelopes out there in the fellowship hall when you get here next weekend. So if you want to grab one of those, and you can put that in the collection plate as it comes through over the next 2 Sundays, next Sunday and the following Sunday, those gifts will go specifically towards gifts of appreciation to our amazing and beloved staff. So I'm just letting you all know that. Try and grab a red envelope if you want to contribute to that next weekend and the following weekend. That's it.
Also, just a reminder, we are having our RE bake sale to fundraise for the mountain. It is right outside. So if you would like a goodie or two, there's plenty of goodies out there. I saw them. I'm eyeing them. I've got my cash ready. So I hope you do too. Are there any other announcements? All right. Well, may your service to the world begin.